Hi, and welcome to another edition of Todd Talk, where we take teaching theory and turn it into teaching practice. So, this month's theme is academic extracurriculars. And what I'm going to be talking about today is one that's called Invention League or sometimes Invention Convention. I have been involved with Invention League for the last 20 years. So, I started my very first year of teaching, and I took 5 kids to the state competition, and I've done it every single year since for people all the way from grade kindergarten all the way to sophomores in high school. And so the way I used Invention Convention when I first started, because what I found was that a science fair is very structured. You have to follow the scientific method. You're looking at facts. You're looking at theories, and it's very science laden, as it should be. It's a science fair. Invention Convention, on the other hand, uses some science, but it also allows kids to use creativity and their problem-solving techniques, which I think are valuable 21st century skills. And so the way the Invention League works is students start with a problem. So let's say a problem is that when they have trouble opening the door when they come home and when their arms are full of groceries. So that is a problem. So what they will do is they will do the first step of Invention League, which is that they will brainstorm all sorts of ideas. So what are many ideas or many inventions that could help solve the problem of not being able to open the door because your arms are full of groceries? And so students would explore that. They would talk with others. They would, think about the various ways that this could be solved. And so that leads us to our second step of the Invention League, which is the actual writing of the journal. So once they have brainstormed ideas and they have settled on an idea for an invention that helps to solve this problem, then they work on their journal. And in the journal, it guides them through, and here's a link to a journal. And so what this does is it guides them through what exactly that they're going to be, every step of the way. And they're going to be just exploring, their idea of this invention. So once they have their idea down and they've started to journal that, they are then eventually going to create a design. And a design is a drawing of what your invention would look like. If someone were to look at a plan for your invention, what would that look like? So you would label the parts, the materials used, the size, all those things would be labeled, and you would create this design. And this would help you to envision what your actual invention is going to look like. Step 4 is the creation of your model. The nice thing I also liked about Invention League is that you don't have to make a working invention. You just have to make it so a model that shows what it would work like. I'll give you an example. The very first year I took a student, he had this problem of waking up in the morning. So whenever his mom came and woke him up, he would just go back to sleep. It wasn't until she came in and turned on the light that he would actually wake up. And so he came up with the idea of the connection of the light is what caused him to wake up. So he created an alarm lamp. Which is an alarm connected to a lamp, and when it goes off, it turns your light on. And so what he did was he just took a common household lamp that he took from home. He bought one of those dollar LCD clocks that you can get at the grocery checkout counter. And he just stuck it on this lamp. And then when he was explaining the model to the judges, he just told them how it wowould work, should it work. So again, the thing I like about this is kids don't have to be the engineers. They just have to have the ideas. And so they would create this model. It could be a working model, by the way. It doesn't give them any more, points for having a working model as opposed to a non-working model. So they'll be judged equally. So they're going to make this model. So then they're going to bring it all together into the next step, which is to create a trifold. And a trifold is just a graphic organizer. It's a graphic organizer for how the steps that you went through to create your invention. And I'll leave a link here to a lesson that I did on what a trifold should look like. And so students would then, and I always tell them it should look professional, no matter what age you are, it should look professional. And because this is the first impression that judges are going to have is this trifold. And then they use this trifold to lead us into our final step in Invention League, which is the presentation. The presentation is when judges come around and the students then present what the problem was, what their invention is, who this helps, and how it solves the problem. And they would explain this to the judges, following along on their trifold and using, examples from their design and their models, and all bringing it all together into this final presentation. So this process of Invention League can take several months. I've done it in various different structures. So one thing I've done is I've done it as part of my curriculum. I was a science teacher for 4 years, and I used it as part of my curriculum. It aligned with one of my curriculum standards, and students then would create their invention, and it was graded for a grade. I've also run it as a club, a before or after school club, where students then come in and they spend their time, and I walk them through what they're going to be doing. But a lot of the work that they're going to be doing is going to be done at home. So I will tell them what a model should look like, and then they will go home and make that model. Or I will show them what a trifold would look like, and then they will do that at home. And then I also go over what a presentation looks like. And here's a link to a tutorial that I did with my students on what a presentation for Invention League should look like. And so the way it works in different states is varies, but typically what happens is you have a district Invention League convention, which is just your district. So schools from all around your district, or it could be one school, I've done it with one school, have this Invention League convention, and the top inventors then get selected to go on to the state competition. And so the state competition has moved to various places through the years that I've done it. But it always is bringing together the best ideas from around the state into one area. And so, and then if students actually do well at the state, they can actually go to the National Invention League convention. So a couple years ago, it was held at Washington, D.C., and I had a student that went. This last year, it was in Detroit, Michigan, at the Henry Ford Museum. And so students have the opportunity to do that. And once kids get into the state and the nationals, the school isn't necessarily involved anymore. I'm there to help. I'm there to, if they have any questions, but the students are just presenting the same invention they've been presenting all along. So they would have all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example of two of my students and the invention that they created and how they presented it.
I'm Catherine Culver, and I'm Katie Bristol. And this is our invention, the bright burner. Have you ever been at a cookout and you have been roasting marshmallows there? When it's perfectly cooked, does it ever fall off the stick? It happens to us a lot. So we are going to fix that problem for us and you guys. So the bright burner is a portable marshmallow machine that solves the problem of marshmallows flying off sticks in kids' hands. The odds are slim of kids burning their hands in with this marshmallows. And it comes with these, and it's going to be like $10 to $15. And the bright burner, how it works is this right here, you set it on what you want your marshmallow to be. If you want it high, if you want it low, if you want it medium, you want it bronze. Well, you just want it to be a little bit cooked, not too much. And then it'll just shut off once it's finished and make a noise. Like that noise. And it's shut completely off. You can take it inside. And if you need to do cleaning, you could leave the bright burner where it is, and it could roast the marshmallows. It's nothing. Yeah. You do what you need to do in your time before you have to do something with the marshmallows. And the bright burner helps people that are interested in taking marshmallows just like us, and it's hard for us. So this will solve our problem. And the bright burner solves the oldest problem of marshmallows falling off the sticks. And you can put batteries in it, or you can use an outlet to plug it in, whichever works for you. And that's all.
So that gives you a general idea of what it's going to look like for students. They're going to get up, and as you saw in the video, they told what their invention was, the problem that it had, how the invention works. They even had the cool sound effect that they added in, and then they actually referred to their model as much as possible and how that was going to look. They even had details such as how much it was going to cost, and how it can be plugged in or battery powered. And so students then, like I said, they spend the year developing this, and then they present, and this is the culmination of this presentation. So that is Invention League in a nutshell. Again, I really like it because it allows kids to be creative, as you can see with the presentation of that last invention. But it also allows them to become problem solvers and to think about ways. These two girls were second graders, and they came up with this very professional invention that you could find in a store very easily. And so I'm always amazed what kids will come up with. And so that's why I always enjoy doing Invention League.